Yo, JD here, Turles, and as you can see, we're back on F1 2020 as always. And for today's video, I thought why not try and do one of the weekly events. It's been such a long time since I've done one. And in today's video, I'm going to show you my very best attempt. But before this video starts, I am very honored and pleased to announce that this video is actually sponsored by Boohoo Man. As you can see, I am wearing one of their pieces of a new collection which dropped yesterday. Please check the link in the description down below. Use code Limitless to get 40% off all items, excluding the sale and selected items. I use this for my gym, for comfort. There's many different styles you can use. So please check them out and thank you so much. But moving back to the video now itself, we're trying to tackle this event, and as I said, it's been a while since I've done one of these, and I really enjoy doing these because they are pretty much like an F1 esports qualifier. It's just only when F1 esports is going on, that's when people take it a lot more serious. So you can see we're colour signs, and the only objective is to finish in 5th place and above. That's it. So there's really not much to it, but you can see, as usual, the thing with these events is it's quite often very reliant on when you catch the AI. It really does dictate the rest of the run that you do. So you have to overtake them at certain points. But now we're just going to go straight into it. This is the best run that I did, and we're just going to talk through the entire run. So I'm just going to give you my thoughts on exactly what I did here. Coming to this, I experimented a lot of times, and I found that I really needed to try and get past Raikkonen up ahead of me going into the chicane if I can. So I'm using the overtake button here. You get a lot of bonus points for a faster lap. In this run, it was definitely a couple tenths slower than I did in my fastest lap, but consistently overall, it was my fastest run. So you can see we're very close to Raikkonen here. Making sure you don't pull out. Try to overtake with as minimum loss of speed as possible, and I want to try and coming off this corner, if I'm within 1.7 of Grosjean, then it's going to be quite an easy overtake going down this main straight. So go through the middle sector split at 54.2, very nice. The best I have done is a 53.9, but often with this AI and in qualifying events for esports, it's about catching them at the right time, otherwise you're just going to be held up. So I'm just trying to get as close as I possibly can coming off this corner, using a little bit of the overtake button. He's going to go defensive, he's using all of his ERS, so we're going to try and take the racing line, outbrake him around the outside, try and avoid the contact in the inside, get the DRS once again, and then we're on the way. The thing is that I could actually overtake him before that last corner, and I did a few times, but I just didn't have the DRS down the main straight, which really suffered my lap time for the next lap. So you have to really go through a lot of runs to know at what point in the run you should be catching people. Now I know that I need to catch Lando Norris towards the end of this lap. So you can see I'm using lean mix here because I don't want to catch him too quickly. I want to catch him just before the last corner. So again, I can try and take the racing line and use the DRS. My fastest lap is actually covered out at the moment due to how the screen ratio is going on, so apologies for that. But the lap time I'm aiming for is a very low 16, which I'll be able to tell you if I do that or not. So coming into the last corner, I can't go down the inside in this occasion, so I have to go around the outside. Most of the time I tried to go down the inside, but getting a good exit off here, using a little bit of the overtake, and it's a 16.2. So now this is where I probably want to be aiming to do the fastest lap I can do during the race, because now we have Giovinazzi coming up, and again on these first 3 laps you are just catching people at awkward places, and it's all about just trying to set the fastest lap possible, but also remembering you need a good overall time as well. So coming up to end of sector 1, we've gone purple in this first sector by just over a tenth. I can see in the delta. Now we come out to Giovinazzi. I'm going to try and overtake him into the left right. So on the exit of this is where I normally did, but on this occasion I wasn't actually that close enough. So coming off here is a bit of an awkward one now. I'm going to have to try and overtake him on the racing line. So trying to get a really good exit. Trying not to run into the back of him. Hopefully he goes a bit defensive. So I have to go around the outside here. Not particularly optimal. I would have normally liked to get him going for that left-right chicane into the right-hander. But nonetheless, we still got the move done. And we didn't lose that much time. And coming off this last corner, goes a little bit of the overtake button once again. It's going to be a 16-2 once again. So the best lap I did was a 15.7. But the problem is, if you go for that faster lap, you're going to probably be held up by someone like Giovinazzi or other cars coming up ahead of you. So now it's just trying to manage the speed as much as possible. The only car I have to come across now is the Williams of George Russell, who is being lapped. And again, I want to try and catch him at the right time to try and get the DRS coming off the last corner. So I'm trying to go fast, but not too fast, so I catch him earlier so I don't get the benefit of the DRS, and vice versa with Giovinazzi behind. If I waited to the last corner, my overall lap time would have been just too slow. So you have to try and choose the compromise between the two, and that's probably one of the most annoying things about the F1 eSport events. That it is just really about timing quite often. I would actually probably prefer if there wasn't any AI and they just gave you a track and car and you just tried to set the 5 or 6 quickest laps possible. That would really show the speed, because a lot of this is just down to timing, and sometimes the AI is slower or faster on particular laps where they come across at different times and stuff as well. So again, yeah, it's a difficult one. But on that last lap, if you didn't see it, I did a 16-0 with no DRS and minimum ERS as well. So this pace is actually looking really good. A previous run I did, as I said, I had a faster lap time, but my times are definitely a lot more consistently faster than they were then. I did like a 15.7, and then since I caught someone, then I did like a 16.7. So it's again just knowing where to make the sacrifices. But we're coming up to the Williams of George Russell now, and coming off this corner, keeping it in rich mix, then go put it back down to standard in single digits for the ERS. Coming through here, a full 54.4, so still doing some good speed, and just trying to catch him for the detection point, but not too quickly, because he is a lapped car, and that would mean he would let me go, which you are about to see coming up next here. So we really have caught him at the perfect time, so this is very, very nice. Now we're going to use the overtake, or not the overtake, but the DRS. That's a 16.4 that lap, but now we're going to have a double DRS, which is just only going to help us by probably around 2 or 3 attempts. But the tyres we're using are the soft tyres, so they are going off quickly. It's going to be much harder to set a fastest lap of the race, but I'm still going to push, still going to use my ERS here, and now we have got just over 2 laps of this race to go. So no more cars to navigate. It's just all about trying to keep it as consistent as I possibly can, going through the chicane, going into 3rd gear, short shift into 4th gear, and getting a nice exit. As the black box finishes, that's your turning in point. I hold it in 4th gear, do a late apex, keep it in 4th, going up through the gears now. Kiss the cup on the outside, just sets me up for the inside for the right hander, and go through here. It's a 54.4. Again, the DRS really did help there, because the tyres really drop off towards the end of this lap. But we will go through the next lap, and I will just completely talk through the lap itself. So coming through here, 3rd gear, trying to get a good exit onto the start finish line. Now we're going to use the ERS, and what's this going to be? It's a 16.4 again. So although the fastest lap is not what I wanted, the overall times are not falling any higher than a 0.4, which is really, really good at this stage here. So coming into here, 50 meter board, that's when we'll be braking, turning 2nd gear, just a little bit of extra rotation. Doesn't really do much in this game, but it doesn't really hinder you either. At the top of this, look for the black box. As that goes out of view, that's your turning in point. Don't really need to brake. Just before the black box on the left, that's your turning in point. 4th gear, already discussed this one. as you hit the curb, that's your braking turning point. Try and carry as much speed as you possibly can. There's a lot of black box references you need to use. Once the black box goes out of view, that's where you really want to be turning in. And again, people have very, very different references, and it does depend on your camera settings as well. Coming to this one, this is where just before the curb, a corner I remember very, very well. Going to here, the black box on the right hand side, as that goes out of view, that's your turning in point. And coming to here again, another black box just before that, that's where you want to be turning in. So the reference points are very, very nice for here. As we come onto the final lap, what is this? Now the tyres are really starting to suffer. It's a 16.7. Coming into this braking zone, where do we brake? It's just after that black box in between two brake marker boards. And now we just got to try and keep up the minimum speed as much as we possibly can. Overall, the run has been solid. It's just really the fastest lap where it can gain you a lot more points. And yeah, this is quite a difficult one, because if you could go really, really fast on one lap, but then you would catch Russell halfway through a lap and then not get the DRS. So it's just all about thinking what you feel is best. But of course, there's lots of room to still improve, as I feel that as Hamilton has won that race. Well, not Hamilton, because he's behind me. I think it's Verstappen coming through it here, the right-hander, just trying to push as much as I possibly can. But again, the tyres are going off, and if you get an invalidation, your overall score really just plummets very, very badly. So coming into the final corner to go, just trying to give it everything I can, trying to squeeze out that last tenth, go put it into rich mix, go use the rest of the overtake, and it's a 16.7 last lap. That's really, really not too bad. And yeah, I feel it was a pretty good effort. Didn't do too many runs there. I think I did about probably 5 or 6 runs so far, which probably sounds like a lot, but I don't really think it is too bad. But thank you very much for Boohooman for sponsoring this video. They do a whole range of different clothing, from style, fashion to gym wear, which I have many, many of before. Please make sure you check out the links in the description if you want that discount code using code Limitless. Thank you so much for the support. Here is my overall score and time. Make sure you go and check it out, and I will catch you very, very soon. Peace.